Hi guys, I am Raven Wynn. I am an actress from the East Coast. I just got interviewed by Keith Andrew, and he is such a great person with a great cause. I support him. You guys should support him. He's a great person. He will interview you with great topics that matter. And we had such a great conversation. Everything was very professional, and it was a fun interview. It'll keep you thinking, and his drive and his determination to make sure that his disability doesn't get in his way, and he's doing this for him, and not only for him but for us, for all of us. And it's so great to make a new friend and just talk about great things.
Welcome to the KeithAndrewNetWork. This is episode 510. I'm here as the beautiful and talented Raven Wynn. I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
Of course, thank you for having me.
No, the honor's all mine. For people who want to know what my talk show is about, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of you would think I would eventually get out to 500. The whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something, and at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities that never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. Is to prove to them you can break the labels. With that being said, half hour, 33 minutes of your time. And I'm going to ask you some easy questions, then we can go to the hard-hitting ones. And starting off, what can you tell us about yourself? How's life growing up?
My name is Raven Wynn. I'm Vietnamese American. I was born in Denver, Colorado, and I grew up with 7 siblings. I am number 7 out of 8, so I have a huge family, and there's a village of us. So I always grew up around people, and I have a very loving family who really supports me, and we all actually have a passion for education, and a lot of my sisters, I believe, went into education. And if I wasn't acting, then I would definitely be in education, because I have a passion for working with children and being able to guide them and help them develop. So that's one of my greatest passions. And then I got into acting, I believe, in college, when I took acting classes just for fun, just to try it out. And I fell in love with it. And then grew up in entertainment in Orlando, being surrounded by theme parks. And so all my college years and then thereafter, I was always surrounded by entertainment. So I love it. I believe that's about it.
Now, the next question I was going to ask you, when you were growing up, were you a study nerd or party animal? And what did you major in?
I was a bit of both. I was very active in like socials and clubs and organizations. I want to say, I guess I was a floater. But then I was also a study nerd. I've always took education and my studies very seriously. But then, of course, I made time to be with my friends and be on campus and being active. I studied child psychology and had a minor in coaching and education.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
One of my favorite questions I like asking people, and a lot of people make fun of me for this, but hey, each your own, right? It's one. Have you ever gotten a chance to do one of those human pyramids, or not into the whole human pyramid stuff?
A human pyramid? Like when you're on field day and then there's people just stacked up?
Pretty much.
Yes, of course. I believe every childhood you should always experience a human pyramid. Growing up with so many siblings, I was always doing that. And my older sisters and brothers always made us be the bottom because they wanted themselves to be on top. So yeah, I was the foundation of that one.
I love that stuff. I'm a loser.
Mhm. Oh, wait, was it? Do you like doing it too?
No, I love that stuff. I'm a loser.
You're not a loser. You're fun. Fun people like to do fun things.
Would you ever be interested in doing one of those, or is that past tense?
I mean, yeah, we get a good group of friends together and everything, of course. I love field day, a good old field day. I grew up playing soccer and being outdoors, and I've always liked being outdoors and being active. So anything being outdoors and having fun with friends is a go for me.
Hey, we put it on our bucket list.
Yes.
Now, the next question I was going to ask you, I saw that you were a mascot assistant.
Yes, I was for the Orlando Magic, the NBA team. The mascot for them is Steph, and he is a dragon, a big green dragon, and I was an assistant for him. So it was fun running around trying to chase him, and it was like pretty much the arena was our playground. So I loved it. Did it? I was with the Orlando Magic for about 6 seasons, so it was a little hard letting go, but that's just how life is with careers.
Well, you're really beautiful.
Thank you.
And with that being said, have you ever thought, or have you been, like a professional dancer, cheerleader, into beauty pageants? Have you ever thought about it, or were you part of it?
I grew up in Mississippi when I was younger. We moved to Mississippi when I was 10 years old. And then, of course, Southern Belles, beauty pageants exist. Yes, they do in the South. So I grew up doing beauty pageants a lot when I was like in my preteens and going into high school. So yeah, beauty pageants was a huge thing in Mississippi, and I was involved in it. So it was a lot of fun. I liked it a lot. It was just a fun experience to just dress up and then hang out with the girls.
Hey, I like dressing up too. It's
That's
always, it's, people say, and my dad says, when you get old, you're supposed to be like getting into this mindset. But I'm almost 30 years old, and I still act like a kid. Because for me, I'm always going to have that mindset. I always want to have fun. I always want to do crazy, messed up, bizarre things. Because you live only once, and you should experience life and enjoy life. Why stick yourself in a bubble or in a corner saying, okay, this is behind me, can't do that anymore? I don't live my life like that.
yeah, exactly. And then being fun and having fun is just, I believe, the way of life of having a fun life. So it's always good. Everyone should be a child at heart, a kid at heart. Kids and children, they're full of spirit. They're always hopeful. They're so innocent, and all of us should have that mindset of like it's not a problem to be a kid and wanting to do things for fun because you want to have fun.
No, absolutely. Now, my
Yeah.
next question I was going to ask you is about your acting career. Who
hmm
influenced you to become an actress, and how many years have you been acting?
It was about who influenced me. I think I've always had it in me. Growing up, my friends always did plays, and I've always went to them to support them. I grew up like my friends did plays, and I did art. I was always taking art classes instead of being in plays, and because I always thought I would have stage fright. And then I've always admired them going to their plays and theater classes and just seeing how they just like quickly just become somebody else. And yeah, and then I believe in college, that's when I started doing short films with my friends. A lot of them, they were in that was their major, and then I had the opportunity to be in their short films, and then that's when I realized that I love this, I like performing, I like acting. And so I think my friends are definitely the friends I grew up with definitely are the people that influenced me into acting. And especially my first acting coach. I remember his first name was Kent. He always went by like Mr. Kent, but he was just inspirational. He was a kid at heart for sure. He was a kid at heart. He just made acting seem so fun, and then that's when I realized like I think this is what I want to do. So I did it as a hobby when I got an agent in Orlando, and then I did some commercial acting, and then I just loved being on set, and that's when I realized that I wanted to turn my hobby into a career. So I've been doing this for about 5 years now. I'm doing a lot of commercials in Orlando, and then I go back and forth from Atlanta and getting some auditions for like TV shows and TV series and movies. So yeah, just keep going, keep training, the best. It's fun.
Hey, you help me, I help you.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you ever been to New York?
I have once actually. After I graduated college, my sisters and I we went to New York for I believe it was like almost 4 days, 4 to 5 days. It was almost a week, and I've always loved like just how New York is just so vintage and just like the whole I don't know, a lot of my friends says New York and just being around the New York people and the New York City, it just makes you feel very, very inspired and motivated. And I told my sister that I've always wanted to visit New York, and she got me a plane ticket for my graduation, and we went, and I loved it. We were like local. I told her I didn't want to do touristy stuff. I wanted to do local things. So we like jogged Central Park, ate a lot for sure, walked a lot. So I loved it. It's beautiful. New York is beautiful. Something else.
Well, if you're back in the area, we should definitely get like a cup of coffee or something.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm not hitting on you, by the way. Just extending my hand in friendship.
I know.
So the next question I was going to ask you, I'm going to go back to my book of questions. I created like this green book of questions from oh, season 1, season 2. So
Hmm.
occasionally I go back and forth. So I'm trying to remember it off the top of my head without hurting myself. So one of the questions I was going to ask you was, have you ever had a certain act in a role that was too difficult for you to do, but you pushed yourself through it anyway?
Um, Let me think. Actually, that's a good question. I've never been asked that question before. I want to say, hmm, I don't know. I don't want to sound so like high on my chair or anything, but it's just every role that's been given to me, thank goodness that I have that mindset to just tell myself that this is part of the job and it's everything's professional. And I've been very lucky to work around people that are also very, very professional, so it made roles very easy for me. Oh yeah, okay. So I want to say there's been a couple roles that were hard for me just because being Asian American, um, we seem we tend to be typecasted
Yes.
very easily to be like the geek or just the side friend or something. And I I don't like, you know, being portrayed as that as an Asian American. It's just very I think that there's a lot more that Asian American talents can do than just to like stand there and just, make faces or do like a couple words just here and there. So it's a little hard. That's I want to say like not specifically like what's hard about the role, it's just what's hard about being in this industry as an Asian American and then having to be typecasted and you just want to do more, but then again there aren't really any written roles like serious roles for you. But there has been a couple really um, great projects I've been a part of where the writer was great and amazing and wrote amazing roles for Asian females. But other than that, on the topic of a hard role or one that was hard to get into was just those typecasted roles. That's just like meant just for the Asians, and then they expect all Asians to know martial arts because I don't know stereotypes. And yeah, there was one set I was on. They were just like, okay, we want to do a flying high kick, and I was just like, what? And they're like, yeah, you have to do it, and I was like, oh, okay, well, like I don't know how. Can you teach me, or do you have a choreographer that can teach me? Because I can learn easily, but they looked at me like I should have known, and that really really bothered me. So yeah,
People are just ignorant, dumb and ignorant.
yeah, it's hard. you meet so many different people in this industry, but it's part of
That's true.
it. Yeah.
And you actually brought up another subject. Yeah, I can't talk. I haven't done my interviews this week because I've been looking for different jobs.
Hmm.
So my mind's been bouncing all over the place, like kind of like a beach ball or into game pong. But I was just you brought up a good subject about stereotypes. If you don't mind me for asking for my next question. But before that, have you ever had a conflict on stage or doing an acting skit with another, so I say associate, but it's not retail. It's another coworker. Like, you guys ever had like a conflict on stage? It's like it's oxymoron, but right, you have to do it. Was there ever any conflicts you had to overcome?
Um, um, I don't believe so. There's just like it's like little things, nothing too big, but little things that where you when I'm paired up with someone I have to get close to, like um my on-screen, significant other or something, if they were just not being nice
Yeah,
or friendly, they're just like you know what I mean, like we have to act like we like each other. And so I love meeting people, I love talking to people, and it's just so hard when I'm trying to talk to you and then you're just completely ignoring me, or you're just I'm trying to like build that chemistry there, that bond there for the characters, and then they're not that nice, and then they say mean things about the crew or the other cast members, and I don't want to be around that. I don't want to be a part of it. I just want to be around positivity and a good aura, especially when you're on set and you're on set for long hours with them. I want to say that's probably like the hard part of working with different types of co-stars, and you just never know who you're going to be working with or who you will be paired up with. But yeah.
all right. Now, the
Yeah.
next question I was going to ask you is about stereotypes. Have you,
Hmm.
and you mentioned this before, have you ever been stereotyped for a certain role, and how do you break them out? Like, for an example, people look at me, it's like, oh, you have a learning disability. I guess you can play the disabled. Or, oh, you wear glasses. I guess you can be the techie. It's like, all right, I kind of want to be the supporting role. I kind of want to be the center of attention. I guess I can be the wacky or the tech person. But
Yeah.
have you ever found yourself being like stereotyped?
Yes, a few times, and it's a little hard because sometimes I just think about it and I'm asking myself, am I overthinking? Am I overreacting? But then again, we we do have to know that this is part of this industry. Is if they want an Asian female, they want an Asian female that looks really Asian. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I've been told that like I don't look Asian enough, and I'm just like, well, I am Asian, and then I don't. And the biggest part for me is, of course, when people tell me that, or when people assume that I know martial arts. That's another thing. But slowly, people are starting to realize that not all Asian does martial arts or just naturally knows how to do martial arts. Um, and then the hardest thing I go through constantly and consistently, and actually just today I auditioned for a role for something like this, is when they think all Asians look alike and they assume I am Korean or I am Chinese or I am Filipino and I am Vietnamese, and I am Vietnamese American. I'm Asian. They assume that since I'm Asian, I don't know, that I'm also Korean. Even though on my biography it says I'm Vietnamese, and then they send me to Korean roles. And I've had friends who are not a specific um, ethnicity, and they still audition for it and they get it. But then it's annoying when I'll audition for something and then I'll make it to the callbacks, and then I'll make it to the final round, and it's between me and one more girl. And they are specifically looking for Koreans. This happened last year, and when they saw me in person, they saw me audition, and then the very last round, my agent called me and said, "Hey, are you Korean?" And I said, "No, I'm Vietnamese. You know that." And she goes, "Okay, well, they don't want you then. They're going to go with the other girl because she's actually Korean." And to me, I was like, okay, then why did I waste my time? Like, why did you ask me to come back for the callback and for a second audition when you, like, obviously you thought I was Korean. Obviously you thought I looked Korean. And so that's constantly something I'm always going through. Like, there was another one when I auditioned for a German TV show, and they had a Chinese scene, and they were looking for a Chinese secretary, and I auditioned for it. The exact same thing happened. I made it to the callbacks, and then I made it in the room where I got to work and see the director. And then, like, they've seen my headshots, they see my reel, and then later on they'll call me and say, "Hey, by the way, are you Chinese?" And, like, I'm not gonna lie, I can't lie, so I say, "No, I'm Vietnamese." And then they're like, "Okay, well, sorry, we don't want to offend anybody." They literally said that. They said, "We don't want to offend any Chinese people, so we're gonna go with a Chinese girl." And I'm just like, it's hard. Like, first of all, there are no roles that are written for Vietnamese girls. How often do you see writers writing roles for Vietnamese females? And then it's so annoying when I hear this feedback from directors, from casting directors saying, "Sorry, you're not like the actual ethnicity we're looking for." But then again, you have like, do you know Palm? I don't know her last name, like Clementif or something. She's in Avengers.
Okay.
She's the Asian female with the mantis.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
She's beautiful, and she's so great for Mantis. And every time I see an Asian female like playing an Asian character, I look them up. I like research them and see their story, what they've been through. I found out that Mantis in the comics is actually Vietnamese. And so Stan Lee actually like wrote a Vietnamese character, and she is not Vietnamese. I know that for sure. So that got me mad when I hear this feedback saying, "Sorry, you're not the ethnicity we're looking for." But yet again, like, does that really matter? Like, there's so many people out there, like, playing ethnicities that they're not. Like, you have Ben, oh my god, I just, like, brain farted.
I have that effect on people.
Yeah, like, you have, like, American people playing German characters. You have American people playing Polish characters. Why can't I play an Asian character? Like, it's just, yeah, sorry, I just had to rant about that because it's constantly, like...
That's fine, you can say whatever you want, and I can agree with you. It's kind of like with my talk shows, like, you say you have a learning disability, but we don't see it. There's hundreds of different disabilities out there. Unfortunately, mine are more mental and physical, but it doesn't mean I can't be an example for people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's the same exact thing. I can relate. But we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back with the last 10 minutes, I'm going to pass the show over to you after one hard-hitting question.
Vanessa Lina. I'm Asian Lalo. This is Cynthia Bastinet. I'm Sonia Fisher. This is Shane Smith.
My name is Alexandra Bowie.
My name is Amelia Clover.
Hi, I'm Amy Linden.
Hi, I'm Anita Nicole Brown.
Meg Green.
Hi, my name is Asata Caldwell.
Hi, everybody. I'm Brooke.
Hi, I'm Bryn Berg.
Hi, I'm Casey Dunn.
Hi, it's Cassandra Kavinsky.
Hi, I'm Christina Briza.
I'm Cindy Hogan.
I'm Courtney Sinello.
Hi, I'm Daisy.
My name is Deborah Jane East.
Hi, my name is Dinah Maasea.
Hi, everyone. I'm Victoria London.
Hi, I'm Heather Krona.
Hi, I'm Heather Callahan Stevens.
Hi, I'm J. Nicole Ralph.
My name is Jamie Petrell.
My name is Julie.
My name is Julia Brankovic.
Kathleen Wills.
Kimberly Amato.
Hi, my name is Laura Putnam.
Hi, I'm Laura Chapanis.
Hi, everyone. I'm Alyssa Damas.
This is Michelle Mupo, a.k.a. Fuchsia.
I'm Rachel Olivera.
Hi, my name is Sarah Joy Mount.
Hi, I'm Susan Brender.
Hi, everyone. This is Venus Leone.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Turner.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Herrera, and I was just on the KeithAndrewNetwork. It was tons of fun. We used up all our time and then some. I really recommend this show, and try to be a guest on Keith's show. It was super fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 510. I'm here with the talented and beautiful Raven Wynn. And now it's the last 10 minutes counting. I'm going to ask you one last kind of hard-hitting subject, and with that being said, I'm going to pass it to you. How do you feel about social media? Are you on Twitter? And I usually ask this at the end, but I'm going to ask you now. You on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Stage 32? Do you use Backstage? Is there any websites you would recommend? And do you think that social media can make you or break you?
It's so funny because I just had this conversation about what I think about social media literally yesterday. I believe social media isn't for everybody. I told, the conversation I had yesterday was I sort of wish social media did not exist, just because I feel like I'm so glued to my phone because of work. Because my work usually revolves around social media and making sure things are getting put out there, because we're all trying to network. We're promoting ourselves and then supporting each other also. And there's been so many times I find myself glued to my phone when I should, as cliche as it sounds, should be living in the moment. And I've been with family and friends and at occasions and events, and I'm just constantly have my phone with me because either someone's trying to reach me or someone's trying to contact me for other things, and it's through social media. And it's a little hard because social media is a hit or miss. It's not for everybody, and I think that if my work wasn't around social media, then I would not really care for it. But then again, we are in this era where social media really it's making people. You see all these social influencers that are you probably years ago when social media did not exist, you wouldn't know anything about them. And a lot of these people are amazing. They're great influencers. Some of them go a little too far with it. But social media, I think it does make or break you. And it determines that one person, just how they take it, how they will use that social media to be a great influence. And I think that people on social media should use that if they have a voice, if they have that power to reach out to so many viewers, followers, or subscribers, then to, do it with a great cause. Not just so I can get views or just so I can get money. They should have something behind it, something more meaningful, to where they can, use that following and make something out of it, make something great out of it. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
I agree. And for me, I was talking to my coworker, it's I don't have social media, I don't believe in it. And it's only good if you have something that you're working on, for you, for your acting career. For me, for my talk show, there's a lot of garbage online. I don't know, animal cruelty. Yeah. Bizarre cartoons, people coming out of the woodwork, and half of that is because of social media, and it's because let's make a bizarre video and have it on YouTube. And I'm kind of boycotting YouTube right now because they thought I was a spammer. I'm not. But you look at what's on YouTube and you're scratching your head. It's why isn't my work here? Or why isn't your work here? But this garbage is. So it's kind of in a way, social media, it's good. It can help both of us. But at the same time, you have these idiots coming out of the woodwork and ruining that. And so I can see how people can be misjudged on it.
Yeah.
For an example, I know this guy who, and I don't mean to complain to you.
Oh, you're fine.
But just for an example, this guy goes and does backyard wrestling, and he makes videos when he's in the store ranting and raving and cursing. And I'm like, how is this even entertaining? But for what we're doing, it's kind of like, eh. But this guy's making an ass of himself. It's kind of like, so yeah. Going back to it, it's like, yeah, I think it can make you, break you, but it's kind of like, if you have a solid purpose for what you're doing, social media it's good for you. But if you're just going to be a waste of space, I don't think you should be on social media.
Yeah, people that just take advantage of social media and take advantage of like the people that follow them, and really like it's probably like children and kids that just they're just following the trend, following what's like in the now or whatever. And then that's the thing, like the children and the kids, that the youth that are so easily like moldable, and like I just feel that the social influencer, the person, should know that and take that in and think like, I should be a positive influence for them. I should be a role model. I shouldn't be trying to make a ruckus and being obnoxious to people and rude and disrespectful just because it'll get me views or get me famous or whatever overnight, being viral. To me, it's just like no. Like, no, it's just, to me, it's just annoying. Like, you're annoying. You're not funny. You're annoying. Like, no one likes to be annoying, but then, I don't know, they just think it's funny, and it's not. When it's hurting someone or making fun of someone or being disrespectful and rude, like, to me, it's like, where's the humanity? Like, have some humanity. Be kind to each other. Like, there's ways about to be a good role model, a good influencer, than to be just cruel to other people for doing it.
No, absolutely. Now it's the last 2 minutes left. Was there anything you wanted to ask me? Anything you wanted to promote? This is your time.
Well, thank you so much, Keith, for reaching out to me. You are very, very professional, and you asked a lot of great questions, and this was one of the first official interviews I've ever done. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, because to talk about topics that really matter rather than, talking about things that don't matter. But thank you so much, and you're an inspiration, because yeah, what you do and taking your disability and just sort of like I don't know how to say, like, shoving in people's faces and saying like, you tell me I can't do this, well, I'm gonna do it anyway, because that's what I admire about people, is that people that take negativity and then turning into something positive. It's so inspirational, because like you doing this talk show and you saying that it's for your therapy, it's so great, and I'm so happy to be a part of it, and it's so nice to talk to someone and making a new friend.
No, absolutely. I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But wrapping up on our talk show, when I first approached you to be a guest at my talk show, what was your first reaction, and what made you say yes? And after doing the interview, how do you feel now?
My first reaction was, did I meet this guy on set before? Because we when you work with people, when you're working on set with so many people, you meet so many people, and we tend to find each other on Facebook, and then we tell each other, okay, we're gonna network, we're gonna work together. And like all people, we do our research when we're like, okay, someone that I don't think I know is reaching out to me, and I saw that we do have a couple of mutual friends, and the mutual friends that we do have, I personally know them, and they're great people. So to me, it's like, okay, well, if Keith is a friend of him and I'm his friend, then Keith is my friend too. And yeah, I'm a firm believer of like, you never know, so why not if it's harmless. And you approached me professionally, and you reached out to me, and it wasn't weird or anything. You just told me, this is what it is, this is how it's going to be. I have a talk show, and you have all the resources too. Like you have your page, your Facebook, and your Instagram. So, yeah, it's great. And then how the first thing you told me was about your disability. So it let me know that you trust me like enough to like tell me something personal yourself. So I knew from the start you were a good person. So yeah, and I'm really, really great. I'm very great. Like I feel great that we did this interview because it was a good way to start the midweek.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Now, wrapping up our interview, I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But I'm looking forward to part 2 down the road and building a friendship with you as well.
Yes, of course. Definitely. It's good to meet good people.